The majority of people killed by US drone strikes in Pakistan are not militants. That's according to the country's interior minister. Rehman Malik said 80% of more than 2,000 people who have died as a result of strikes were civilians. Let's discuss it further now with Ahmed Qureshi from Pak Nationalists Forum, Pakistan's first political lobbying group, live from Islamabad. A pleasure to see you today. These are devastating statistics from the Pakistani government. Do you think in any way, shape or form Washington will actually listen to them?
This is a major blow to U.S. diplomacy and position in Pakistan, and this is the first time that a senior official actually come out to say this, make this kind of a statement, that the majority are civilians who were killed by CIA drones. Will this change the position of the United States? I think the Central Intelligence Agency and the Pentagon are under tremendous pressure, not just from the Pakistani government and military, but also from the public opinion within the United States. And I'm sure you know, you followed a couple of weeks back, there's been this major march toward the Pakistani tribal belt where American activists, anti-CIA drone activists, and of course Pakistani activists together march toward the region where the CIA has been raining all these drones. And of course this entire thing is building up, of course, against the United States. And of course the Americans have been trying very, very hard to convince Pakistanis that these drone attacks were actually are for the betterment of the country and would help the country. But I think with this kind of a statement coming from from a senior Pakistani minister, I think this just totally destroys the position of the U.S. inside Pakistan. And I think and I'm sure that the American diplomats at the U.S. Embassy here in Islamabad are increasingly applying pressure on Washington, on their counterparts, and especially on people in CIA and Pentagon.
But if you say the diplomats are applying pressure on Washington, it doesn't seem to have been working. These strikes have been going on for years now. These new statistics that have come out from the Pakistani government are indeed, as you say, very disturbing. But what can Islamabad do to make America listen?
Well, it can do three very important things, immediate actions. Number one is to withdraw the permission for the use of Pakistani airspace. That's number one. Number two, if really things become really worse, Pakistan can also resort actually to shooting down one of the drones, and that is one of the options on the table. And the Pakistani Air Force and several people connected to the Pakistani Air Force have said this repeatedly, that they have the capability to do this, and they're just waiting for a decision from the government. And as I said, this is the very, very first time in the past decade that Pakistan government actually came out so strongly, so conclusively to say that civilians are being killed by the CIA drones. And let me just tell you one more thing. In addition to the statement on the CIA drones, the same minister also made a very interesting statement. He said Pakistan had seen 96 incursions and attacks from the Afghan soil inside Pakistan by militants. And we understand that a couple of days back there was a meeting of the senior formation commanders of the Pakistan Army, and according to reports published by the media here today, they were for the first time talking very openly about the fact that the US Army and NATO is not doing much to control militants who are unknown militants. We don't know exactly who they are. They are Pakistani Taliban, Afghan Taliban, or just simply Afghan militants coming out by the dozens and killing Pakistani soldiers. One of those militants is also accused of being behind the attack on Malala Yousafzai, the Pakistani teenage
if I can just jump in for a moment. I'm sorry to interrupt you here, but I'm so sorry. I've got very little time left here. But one question is this. If America did stop the drone strikes, can Pakistan cope on its own with dealing with the militants?
There's no evidence that the drones have actually helped Pakistan control the militants. On the contrary, Pakistan has been very successful, Pakistani military, in flushing out terrorists from the northern region of Swat back in 2009 and cleaning up that entire area. And if now we see resurgence of some of the activity of the terrorists, it is because of the safe havens on what I would call the American side of the border, which is the Afghan side of the border, under the watch of the US Army, where these terrorists who were fleshed out by Pakistan Army are maintaining now resting and training camps over there. So I think the Pakistani government appears now to be putting the blame in a way on the Americans, and I think that would be the gist of the reports published by the Pakistani media today about the meeting, which was was a closed-door meeting of the Pakistani military commanders accusing or mentioning for the first time, by the way, a figure, 96 incursions from the Afghan territory into Pakistan, resulting in killing of Pakistani soldiers and Pakistani civilians.
Well, these are very, very big numbers indeed. Ahmed Qureshi from the Pak Nationalists Forum, Pakistan's first political lobbying group, live from Islamabad. Thank you for coming on the programme today.